Lucky Lefty Podcast, Honora Boys. We are in the building and brought to you by Honora Whiskey. It is honorawhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, honorawhiskey.com. Man, the Final Four, women's, starting in about 20 minutes. UConn, South Carolina jumping it off. My Illini jump it off tomorrow. Woo, man, half of Illinois' fan base is in Indianapolis, bro. They had 7,000 people at the practice today.
Wait a minute.
7,000 Illinois fans showed up for the practice.
At the gym?
At the gym. So if you're going to enjoy this weekend, please make sure you do it
responsibly. Y'all think I'm a
Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm Sean Davis, SD2 Mics. That dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. We're brought to you by Honora Whiskey. Why don't you go ahead, subscribe on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, the like button. It helps with the views. Hit us up on social media. Give us a follow. Instagram, X, TikTok at Lucky Lefty Pop. We are the home of the misguided passion and forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. Also, courtesy of Believe Network, audio edibles each and every day over at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Man, check it out. We thank you for the support, the continued support. Make sure you sign up or set the notifications up, and also the automatic downloads. Whenever we post, you'll get it. It's right there for you. And we are presented by FanDuel. Well, nothing has changed in terms of Notre Dame over at FanDuel. I will tell you this before I talk about Notre Dame. My Fighting Illini, 1.5-point favorites over at FanDuel to beat Dan Hurley and his UConn Huskies. We're going to end that dream. They're going for 3 championships in 4 years. We're going to go ahead and get that out the way early. You don't have to worry. There won't be a storyline. No need for there to be a storyline Monday night. No need.
Imagine you getting Dan Hurley out the way.
Get him out the way. Go ahead and get Dan Hurley out the way. You know what I'm saying? Make it an all Big Ten championship game. Illinois versus Michigan. We owe them from the 1989 Final Four. We owe them. So, man, I would love to get them. And they smacked us around in Champaign this year. We owe them. We owe them.
That's right.
And it's Big Ten country. Why not have an all Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis?
You said just like football, huh?
It's only right. It's only right. But for Notre Dame, it's wonderful because they are the odds-on favorite to win the national championship. They are the odds-on favorite with C.J. Carr as the starting quarterback to bring home another Heisman to South Bend. And we already know it might get worse, but it's already bad because when they take on the Wisconsin Badgers in Lambeau Field, they're a 16.5-point favorite week 1. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. Shout out to our boy Roosevelt. Hey, let me tell you something. Take care of my boy down there. I wanted Notre Dame to get on them. They didn't. They got an absolute steal. Shout out to my boy Jared Payton that's down on campus checking out practice today. Talked to him earlier. He's down there with his family checking out spring practice. And he gave me the scoop last night. And that Israel Abrams from Montini Catholic, 4-star quarterback, is going to be going to Miami. Miami came on late in this one. They did a great job.
Really?
They activated the Chicago chapter. They activated the Chicago chapter very well.
Chicago.
Early on, you know who his favorite was early on, and he was serious.
Northwestern?
Purdue.
That's even worse.
Purdue did a great job. Let me tell you something, man. Purdue did a great job with that young man. They did a great job with that young man. He was serious, but then all of a sudden, some heavy hitters got involved. And once the heavy hitters got involved, it was pretty much a wrap. It was pretty much a wrap. Yeah. He is the number 14 overall player, number 2 quarterback in the 27 class. And so he's on because he wasn't ranked that high, but he has really come on as of late in the ranking. So yeah. Okay. You say that Purdue like something stink in the crib or something.
Well, I wonder what they got. Or what are they recruiting a top with,
bro?
Like, what's the attraction?
You know how it is, bro. When somebody's like, when somebody jumps on you early before everybody else, they're your first offer. You really have a great relationship with the staff,
I guess.
You know how it is. And they stayed with it. They didn't back down. But I pretty much knew, like I said, I was alerted that it was going to be Miami. So
you got a lot of inside sources over there, Mr. Miami.
Hey man, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. They're trying to activate their Justin Scott joint for Braden Parks, but I'll remain silent on that one.
It's not too late, Justin Scott. We got Charlie Partridge.
I'm just saying.
Not too late.
I be knowing. That's all. I be knowing. Lucky Lefty podcast. Be knowing. That's all. But no, congratulations to Israel. If you have not seen it, go watch the Montini Catholic versus Carmel High School, Carmel Catholic, not Mount Carmel, not Mount Carmel. It is just Montini versus Carmel. And it is Trey Taylor versus Israel Abrams. And they put on an absolute aerial assault. People are like, this is like one of the all-time classic high school games. I think they put up over 100 points.
Over 100 points?
And both quarterbacks threw for over 400. It was crazy.
Who ended up winning?
Israel Abrams. They came back from down 19 in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Yeah. It was an instant classic. Absolute instant classic.
19.
He's gonna take. He's real slender though. He's gonna have to get.
No, yeah, weight. He got him and Trey Taylor real slender. Like
he's got to get in that weight.
Look like
he's got to get in that weight room. So check it out, everybody. This team is on break. A little Easter break today. They do have visitors coming in over the weekend. We'll talk about those visitors at the end of the show. But today's show is about what we know. This is pretty much the midpoint. Marcus Freeman just had his spring presser this week, shared some things. And so we're going to talk about the things that we do know. What do we know about Notre Dame? What do we know narrative-wise? What do we know offensively? What do we know defensively? So if you have something you want to add to that, go ahead and put it in the chat. What do we know about Notre Dame? What do we know? We're going to talk about that today. I want to go to something Marcus Freeman said the other day. And I'm going to start the narrative part, the team part of this out with Marcus Freeman talking about the closeness of this group left. Check it out.
I think I've noticed it with my own eyes, but a couple coaches have said some things to me. It's little things that you see in practice. You see how they end practice when maybe the threes are going, and the way they can cheer on their teammates. The ability to move past conflict, right? The ability, like you do in families, you have conflict and you move forward, and to not take things personal. And it's a reflection of leadership. Right, a reflection of you got two captains returning, which I don't know if I haven't had that in my time here, that have continued to uphold a high standard. You have a returning quarterback and returning coordinators, and so when you have strong leadership from the top, there is no other option but to become a close brotherhood, and that's what they're doing.
Yo, replace the defensive staff, but just overall, it's something that he said in his presser. Like, it's much more difficult to replace your coordinators than it is to replace the assistants. He didn't think that before this offseason, but he quickly found out that it's a much easier transition. And this is the first time he's had both coordinators return. So it's a very comfortable situation for head coach Marcus Freeman. He talks about having that leadership at the top and the close-knitness coming from that, or being a result of that. It starts with the continuity with the coordinators, and then it trickles down. I also believe that closeness, what we know is that the closeness comes from returning two of your captains. Like, they've been, recycling captains, like bringing in 4 new captains, 5 new captains. This year they have 2. Maybe they add 3 more.
Yeah, what's a returning? Does a returning captain automatically get his captain spot back?
I would think so, because CJ wasn't. Was CJ a captain last year? I think CJ was a captain last year. Well, the quarterback is a captain by default the vast majority of the time.
I mean, he had the C on his. Does the C change or something like that?
If you were a captain last year, they probably go through the same vote, but I would think the players will vote the captains that remain or return. They will vote for them again.
Yeah,
I would think so. I mean, you've been through the process.
I was rigged out of my process, so you know.
What you say?
I was rigged. The elections were stolen.
No, CJ was not a captain last year. And we already know that Marcus Freeman and Gino Guidugli have already spoken and said that he's a captain. So
no, he has no choice. Yeah, he's a force. Yeah. I mean, not force, but
so that's 3.
The captain.
Yeah. He is the offensive captain.
He's the metaphorical captain, but also
they have 2. They have 2 returning. They have 2 returning on the defensive
That's
side.
crazy. You get your cap. I didn't even know how it works like that.
Yeah, dude. Drake.
So it's a 2-term service there. 2-term captainship. Like, you serve 2 terms as a president.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 years as a captain if you come back. But that also shows that all our captains go to league, you know. So
that's the fact, because Billy Schrouf and Emil Wagner definitely went to the league, and Will Pauling went to the league. Donovan Hines.
Will Pauling becoming a captain.
Let's talk about that, Les. Is there a sneaky transfer captain?
After the Will Pauling incident, I can't tell, because we got guys off the street that can be a captain off the street. SD,
because you know Mylan Graham has been in that film room like Will Pauling was, and he's been spending extra time with
disrespect. It got to be some requirements. You know how you can't just be the president of the United States. You got to be an American-born citizen. You got to be 35 plus years old. You got to have certain things. With this captain thing, we just can't be having guys coming out of nowhere just being the captain of the whole building. Where is the in-house upgrade, the in-house promotions? We do it in the coaching staff. You telling me we just a conquerable people? a guy off the street of Wisconsin can come in and conquer the Notre Dame locker room? What's that say about us? Marcus Freeman should allow captains that are hired guns.
So they should have to pledge allegiance.
They gotta at least be in the system.
They should have to take an exam.
Take an exam. Yeah, take an exam. Go to the grotto, pray a certain amount of times. Like you gotta, you just being captain because you hanging in the Google all day. That's crazy.
Go through a fast to make sure they're broken from their previous spot.
We gotta establish what real captainship is at Notre. Because my goodness, we don't got a ring of honor. That's why. That's how they get away with it. When you don't got a ring of honor, they can just move the goalposts on what's a captain. Because if you had a ring of honor, you got to answer to people. You're going to hear that board of directors calling. Hey, you just making guys captain off the street after no work? After no work?
I'm going to play the game for you. You just captain. You captain.
So we got to set up a board of trustees first.
That was weird. That was weird.
Then we got to put together the qualifications to be a captain. And then we got to follow those guys. We might have to elect and have a judicial process on how we do captains just to make sure that it isn't getting bamboozled. Maybe have some voter ID registration or something.
I don't know, Left. I just don't see anybody. Honestly, out of the transfers, I would be shocked if someone jumped up. The reason I say this is because I think you saw with 2 of the 2023 guys being captains last year. I think the leadership is so strong, and it goes to the closeness that Marcus Freeman talked about and his coaches sharing with him, like, yo, this is a different, this group is different. They have something special. They have a special closeness. I think that goes to the 23 class, really being the anchor of the program right now, right?
The 26 class?
23 Left.
Oh, 23. I'm sorry.
23 class. 23. The 26 class being the anchors would not be good. That would be.
That's why I had to make sure my mufflers were right on my speakers. I was like 26.
Had the bass too high.
You got that very right. You got to almost put captions at the end of your videos.
What? Speaking of that, why in the world as kids did we think it was cool when a guy drove down the street with a trunk rattling, bro? And you couldn't hear a word.
Man, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't like that. Don't ride down my street with the rattling because I'm gonna think something wrong. I don't, because I'm like, you can't even hear it.
We can't, no clarity at all. None. But yeah, some guys, I think it's too much leadership for that to happen last year, Left.
I mean, it would be a shame.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, how does that happen again? It already crazy happened one time, but again, it's just Whew.
What else do we know?
Notre Dame, huh?
You know what's something else I think we know? We're talking about what we know. Halfway through spring camp, what do we know about Notre Dame? We're talking about it from a team perspective before we go on to the offense and defense. The first thing we know is that, like we said, this group is extremely close with great leadership. I think we know that. We know that for sure.
We'll know once we get in adversity, because we even called out our captains even after the first game. You've even put the captain on the chopping block a couple times.
Hey.
Whether it be the great Jared Patterson or one of our linemen after the Texas A&M or the Miami game. So, I do think it's important that leadership is appreciated after adversity. Because you can do all the right things through the process and be voted a captain, but the real captainhood comes through adversity.
Yeah. I think this, is important, Left. We stick to this team topic right here. Sean Davis, Malik Zaire, the original Lucky Lefty podcast, talking about what we know halfway through spring practice. I think something we know about this team is that the offense is going to be at the forefront and they're going to attack the field a whole lot more. I think we know that. And speaking of that, this is what Mike Denbrock had to say about that when he met with the media, saying that we're pushing the offense forward.
I mean, it obviously makes the process a lot easier, right? This is the first time in a while we weren't trying to break somebody in and make sure that they had both feet on the ground. He's got a year of experience under his belt. You know, that's a good thing sometimes, and sometimes it's kind of like, hey, listen, just whoa, just let's slow down a little bit and just make sure we got the details taken care of before you go taking the rest of the playbook into your hands. But it's great. I mean, it's easy on everybody because there's a familiarity. There's obviously from a playbook standpoint a familiarity, and then from the players around them. There's a familiarity, even though there's some new faces out there running around as well that we're excited about.
Familiarity, and I'm going to tell you something. I talked to a certain recruit that was at practice on Wednesday, and he flat out told me, he was like, yo, CJ looks good. He was like, CJ looks good. And he was like, yo, they were making a lot of plays. He was like, the wide receivers were making a lot of plays today. So that's aligning with what we feel like we know. This offense, the passing game, is going to take a step forward.
And a lot of that too is just that feeling that CJ feels that he's the guy. So you're dealing with a guy that can be more decisive and assertive, strut his stuff a little bit more because they're looking towards him. It's one thing to do that while on eggshells of a competition, but now you see your name on the wall when you on your office when you walk in, and the receptionist know you by your first name now, Mr. Carr, and you just super excited because now the familiarity's in the building. You're like, all right, I'll run this thing. So that confidence is there, which allows him to play better, and that's half the battle of taking command and mastering the offense is just having that backup. The coaches back him up. Marcus Freeman ain't in there talking about, I don't know, and we'll find out the hour before the game. Like he's like, yeah, we got CJ again. Here we go. That's a head start. Just even the fact that he's year 2 is just such a relief for a guy like Denbrock, who's literally last 4 years been starting over. How many times man got to start over? He probably thinking, man, I could have been in the league if I had the same guy for a couple of years. I could have, offense could have blossomed into something crazy. But every year he had to reinvent and restart. This year, he's like, oh, we on page 5 on day 1. That's a good thing. Usually we on page 1 on day 1. We on page 5. So I think that just is going to improve naturally what we look like on offense, and it's more of it just a command. When you know who your guy is, you start liking the plays that he likes, and you start knowing what works and what doesn't on a real level. Hard to know what works and what doesn't with a first-time guy, whether it be really good or experiment or whatever. We kind of know what CJ's good and at and what he likes and doesn't like, and the players around kind of know that, and you feel better. And everything on offense is about time spent in chemistry. So, it's one thing for a bunch of guys to be good, but then it's another thing for a bunch of guys to play together for a long time. That's one of those things where you start doing stuff and you don't even call it. It just happens because you just know your guys.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff we want to see CJ blossom into this year.
Yeah, I agree. Lucky Lefty podcast. There's 2 more things from the team aspect that I think is very important to talk about, Left. The third thing that I think we know I think we've known this for a few months, probably before Notre Dame even started, is that this team is going to be motivated this year. I think we know that. I think we know that this team has every bit of motivation it needs, external and internal, to get off to a good start and to mollywop, as we used to say, to mollywop teams up and down this 2026 schedule.
I mean, it's set up pretty right. You know, it's like we just gotta go out there and act like it. You know, don't go out there and be like, we're good. We just don't know how good, and then you get whopped over the head. No, we go out there like we 2012 Alabama. Well, we mad we not beating you by more. That just gotta be the mentality.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that really made it kind of interesting, Marcus Freeman, when he first, I think it was back in February, he met with the media, and someone asked him, you know, does he have regrets? Does he have any regrets about the season? And you know, when I think about that question, Left, it's a fair question to ask, but at the same time, it probably would have ticked me off. But this is what Marcus Freeman had to say.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the Pop-Tart Bowl that I thought that, but maybe it was the first round of the playoffs. I was like, man, I wish we were playing. And then the second round and the third round, and I'm sure a national championship game, I'll think that. But no, I don't second guess the decision we made. I'm proud of our leadership. I'm proud of our captains because of how they came to that decision. And they had the full support of myself and our administration to make that final decision. And as I said, I'm sure in the follow doc, it wasn't an emotional decision, right? Maybe the first time was, I don't know, but I challenged them again. And I challenged them again right up till we had to make, okay, we have 1 minute to make this decision. I'm going to ask you one more time. And I'm going to talk to the leaders. Are you guys sure this is what we want to do? Because I didn't want them to regret it, right? And they were convicted in their decision, and I fully support them.
Yeah, it's plenty of motivation, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of motivation to go around this offseason. From the mantra, leave no doubt, to everything else. I think what Marcus Freeman and this team have, I think you can throw in the passing of Lou Holtz, right? I'm sure they're going to have something to commemorate Lou Holtz on the jersey, a patch or something. So you're going to have that energy all season. The get back, wanting to get back in Miami when they come in November. The BYU matchup, what comes from that? The boldness of saying no to the Pop-Tart Bowl, people saying you're running from BYU, only to go ahead and make a home and homes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's more gangster. Because we didn't have to do that. We took it to the next. We said, you know what? And I don't even think it was in response to people criticizing us for leaving the bowl game. I think we already kind of had an idea. But the timing of when, because you said it, I think it was already done by the time the news came out. So it wasn't like it was a reaction. We already was in the works of. So
no, they literally, USC was going to announce the dissolution of the USC Notre Dame rivalry. And Notre Dame beat them to the punch with the announcement of the BYU games being added to the schedule in place of USC.
That's gangster. That's gangster.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because the thing is, nobody has the ability to do something like that because they're all in conferences. If we was in a conference, it would have been a bigger thing because it would have taken longer. We got to cut through the red tape, call this person, do this. We had the Rolodex going. But that also shows the responsibility of an independent school. You know, we on our P's and Q's. Which we just work on two different agendas. We were ahead of what y'all thought because we have to operate different anyway. You can't fool us when we on a different level of playing field. Because our bigger picture is we have to be proactive about scheduling games anyway. This ain't even about USC. This is just we got to fill that 12-game schedule. And if we sniff some indecisiveness, some games being played, oh, we working. We working. He's like, oh, okay, you okay. We see the writing on the wall. We know where this finna head. That's okay. We're gonna let y'all do what y'all do. But by the way, don't worry about it. We got the answer for you. We right here. Like, oh, you know, oh, okay, I see where this is heading. That's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We got BYU on the line. So I do think that the shrewdness that we're moving with, it's all about the things we don't say. We didn't tell you in Telegraph that we were doing this. We just did it. That's what makes it colder. USC thought they can get in the battle of a battle rap. We just sign papers and documents and make phone calls. See, that's different. You want to run to the internet. We want to go to contracts and conversations. That's different.
Let's go to a super chat. Appreciate you, Lou Holtz, Thunder and Bolts. We appreciate you. Thanks, gents, for all the great content this all season. Bless Good Friday to all. He died for our sins. No greater love than this. God bless. Couldn't have said it any better. Lou Holtz, Thunder and Bolts. Appreciate you. God bless. Have a blessed weekend. Everybody, have a blessed weekend. GTB from my boy Jay Melvin. Sean, I saw that your Illinois guy Israel Abrams went to the U. Mario has been killing it in recruiting, especially in Chicago. I'm trying to tell you, they got a whole Chicago sale going on, bro. I'm trying. Hey, these cats up here buying condos, activating sales.
See, you got to run some interference now. You got to run some interference, SD. Got to send them to the wrong food spots. Make them think they shouldn't come back. You know,
That's what you want me to do.
Send them to the wrong hotel recommendations. You know, send them over there to 63rd or something. You know.
I mean, look, man. Notre Dame. You know, I want to say he came in last summer and threw for Notre Dame. Yeah. Like right before they decided to offer Teddy Gerard and Peyton Houston, he came on campus and threw for Geno, and they just weren't interested. So
yeah, I mean, well, you know, if it's Geno, he's got to be 6'5".
I mean, the kid is 6'4".
Nah, it wasn't there. We got 6'5" and up.
You know, but I mean, Teddy Gerard he's the number 2 quarterback in the class right now. Teddy Gerard is number 1. So. And you get Teddy Gerard a year earlier than Israel.
Okay, so Teddy Gerard's coming in this summer.
Yes.
Which is Israel's will be next year or next summer.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. But they were the same time then.
They were the same class, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they were the same class. So the last thing, so that's the third thing. We know that this team is motivated without question, without a shadow of a doubt. They're motivated. Last on the team aspect of what we know about this Notre Dame team, and this is just me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if Malik's going to have my back on this one. I think, and these are based upon early returns. Notre Dame's going to be a better coached.
In what way?
Defensively.
Mm.
I'm talking about collectively.
Mm.
I think Charlie Partridge, his resume,
That's the biggest
his
difference.
development.
I mean, Aaron Henry got to prove something.
No, relax. Hold on. He's produced all Americans and all Big Ten and Super Bowl champions, all pros at Illinois. If he could do it at Illinois, he could do it at Notre Dame. Relax.
So we gonna give him the credit without doing anything?
Relax. Why do you keep saying he hasn't done anything, bro?
Anything at Notre Dame?
He ain't Max Bullock. He ain't. Don't treat him like Max Bullock.
You act like them Lakers fans with LeBron. Oh, LeBron didn't. You mean the man got 4 championships coming to LA. Y'all talking about, oh, he ain't one for LA. He's a champion.
First of all, I've never said that. I don't need to bring up LA. We can cut his career off at Cleveland. He's still number 2. It doesn't change anything. That doesn't change anything. We don't even have to discuss LA at all.
No, I'm just saying. He saw them Laker fans that just act like greatness is just.
That's my point. That's my point. Aaron Henry has already proven that he can develop at an elite level. He didn't need Notre Dame to prove that. That's proven.
But can we give him the credit without even doing anything?
First of all,
at Notre Dame?
Because he's proven it already. Max Bullock hadn't done a thing when he came to Notre Dame.
But we didn't give him the credit until afterward.
Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? One had not done a thing.
Judge by a different scale when you come to Notre Dame.
One had not done a thing. One has proven he can produce top 10 talent, multiple top 10 talent, and multiple all-pro players. He had 2 dudes, NFL first-team all-pro this year. 2 that he developed.
But what's that got to do with
it? What do you mean?
If they you can have a winning team.
You can only prove that you're a developer.
How much can in your opinion, how much
you're not making sense to me.
First year that is not already done? Because the cake is already baked in the secondary.
He doesn't have to prove anything. He doesn't have to prove anything. What does he have to prove?
Already baked.
Yes, he baked it at Illinois.
No, it was baked when he got to Notre Dame.
You keep talking about Notre Dame. We're talking about him as a coach. He's already proven
we know that he's a qualified baker.
Okay, that's my point.
He's in.
That was the point.
You was baked, but this is a Michelin star restaurant.
Relax.
See. Relax. You great at the local pub.
No, let me ask you a question. Name me the first round DB Mike Mickens developed. You only got one. DBs? Name me the first round DB Mike Mickens developed. You only got one.
Little more.
Oh, no. He's not in the NFL. He's still in Notre Dame.
He's about to be.
I'm not talking about to be. I'm talking about right now as of today. Name me the first round DB that has been developed.
Kyle Hamilton.
Okay. So basically, they both have done one. They've done the same thing.
Oh, now that's
he did the same thing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. Stop. Let me finish. Because you messed up. You messed up. So Mike Mickens with better talent.
The secondary had better talent when Mike Mickens first got there?
So we're sitting here saying Notre Dame doesn't get better talent than Illinois?
We didn't say Notre Dame. We said the secondary when Mike Mickens got
there. Answer the question. Does Notre Dame get better talent than Illinois? It's a yes or no question. Let's stop trying to think.
Yes.
Overall, okay. So once again, as a developer, to go to my point, I'm arguing positively about the current coaching staff, and you're trying to deconstruct My point to say that this is a darn good coaching staff
It
from
is a darn good
developmental
coaching
standpoint.
staff. It's a very darn good coaching staff.
You're trying to isolate one position, and I'm talking about the collective.
Well, we got to give respect to what was built.
That's fine, but what if the collective coaching wise has a better resume because they've been doing it longer and they've proven that they can do it.
Just not at Notre Dame, yes, but I agree. It's different pressure. It's different pressure.
What's the pressure, Lev?
Well, what school has any of those coaches that just came? For instance,
Brian Jean-Mary came from Michigan. What are you talking
you
about?
cannot lose a game. You are predicted to win every single game. Ain't not one of them coaches been through something like that.
Wait. Which one of them coaches walked into the defensive back room or the talent that all three walked into? I'll wait. Which new coach just walked in to that talent? Aaron Henry walked in. Like you said, thank you for proving my point. How much does Aaron Henry really have to do this year?
Do with what?
The defensive backfield. What
the
does he really have to do?
Talent perspective. I mean, how much coaching? I mean, he probably got a Geno role this year, like Geno had 2 years ago.
Absolutely. So now, as I'm just speaking, without trying to sound shady, I'm just trying to follow the breadcrumbs, right?
Okay.
A certain coach was the defensive line coach, and they moved him to linebacker coach to bring the current D-line coach in. Why do you think that happened?
See, but that's what you call a 2 for 1. That's a 2 for 1. That's a 2 for 1 because you talk about two coaches off of one's transition. Yes, Charlie Partridge was the upgrade over Al Washington. You're going to try to count it twice and say, "Oh, but why is he in linebackers? We got Jean-Marie." See, that's that. No, we can't do that. Can't do that. We can count the benefit of Charlie Partridge for Al Washington as 1 and 1. You trying to get a 2 for 1 special and say, okay, then we transition linebacker. It's like, wait a minute. I agree. The 1 for 1 trade, Charlie for Al Washington, is an upgrade.
That's it. Stop right there. Notre Dame upgraded at the defensive line coach position. You just said it, right? You just said it, right?
That's right.
If you want to give a marginal edge to Mike Mickens over Aaron Henry, that's fine. But don't act like it's a canyon in between them. We're not doing that.
Mike Mickens is arguably a top 3 best assistant coach of Notre Dame history. Arguably.
What has he done better than Aaron Henry from development? The resume is exactly the same.
Is working at IBM, is working at Best Buy, Geek Squad.
With better talent, he's developed just as many first-round defensive backs as Mike Mickens. That's the point. That's the resume. So what we're not about to sit up here and act like just because Mike Mickens did it at Notre Dame, we're just going to discredit what Aaron Henry was discrediting. You are trying to discredit, dude, because you're trying to make it seem like Mike Mickens is here and Aaron Henry is down here somewhere.
No, it's more like it's more 60-40. But we can't just act like we upgraded. Is that what you're saying?
Did I say the word upgrade? Did I say
it only goes 2 directions.
I definitely said upgrade to D-line.
I agree with you. That's an upgrade.
Okay,
but I'm slow to say it was an upgrade in the secondary. I'm slow to say that.
It's an upgrade at linebacker.
That's it. That's it. Yes.
So you've upgraded 2 of the 3. What are we arguing about? What's the debate? We already know that they upgraded 2 of the 3 defensive position coaching positions. We know that. We're talking about what we know. We know for a fact that they upgraded 2 of the 3 that they had to fill. The other one, give the edge to Mike Mickens, but the edge is not enough to make up the upgrades of the other 2.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's all I said. That's why I said we know that this defense is going to be better coached. And simply just because it's the second year in Chris Ash's system. That lets you know that they're going to be better coached. That's it. I wasn't trying to disparage Al Washington, Max Bullock, and Mike Mickens. Boy, I tell you, boy, you are the defender of Notre Dame through and through.
People just have a very revisionist history around here sometimes.
What is the revisionist history? Ultimately, you agreed that they upgraded.
Like for instance, you can't get better in an offseason without playing no football. How can you get better without touching the field? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we haven't made moves that can promote and stimulate growth, but you got to go out there and do it. We thought Chris Ash might have been a great lateral move until we saw them first 5 games. So I don't know.
Once again, they upgraded at linebacker coach. They upgraded at D-line coach. That's it. That's 2 of 3. That's what we know. That's the team part. Lucky Lefty Podcast. SHAUN Davis, MALIK ZAIRE, the original Lucky Lefty himself. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share, let everybody know about the podcast. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. If you have a super chat or a GTB question, get it in. Or you can answer the question today. From the team perspective, what do you feel like you know about Notre Dame to this point? What do you know about Notre Dame? We gave our 4 things that we know from a team perspective. I'm going to go ahead. I would like to say right now, I think certain position coaches, I think the recruiting is going to get even more dynamic. I would like to say that, but I'll leave a little bit more meat on the bone. I don't want to just make that statement, but I could make a prediction that we're going to see a run over the next 2 or 3 years with Notre Dame being a top 3 team in recruiting. But I'm a hold off. But I like the vibe. I like the vibe. I like the way it's trending, especially at certain positions. Especially at certain positions. I like what they have on board and who they like at 28. I like the possible double up of Gerard and Camden Lapati and Champ Mons. Between those 2, you're doubling up because Teddy Gerard comes in early and then you bring in Lapati or either Mons late next year or in January next year. That's, that quarterback room, you just built it right back up, in my opinion. You built it right back up. And then the wide receiver recruiting, right? Quinn Burrell, he was on campus Wednesday talking about Julian Caldwell, Cade Cooper. Julius Jones Jr. comes in this weekend. His partner, his teammate, his best friend, Zayden Gamble, that's already 4-star safety from St. Thomas Aquinas, already visited. He's actually been crystal balled over the last couple of days to Notre Dame. And he talked about how, Julius Jones Jr. and his father, Julius Jones Sr., have been talking Notre Dame up to him for years. So that's a 2-for-1 from St. Thomas Aquinas. And that's Notre Dame breaking the seal on St. Thomas Aquinas, getting 2 of their top players and being able to kind of start a pipeline from a big-time program like that. That would be fabulous. So I think the recruiting, we've seen it elevate, but I think there's a whole nother level they really can go to, right? 28, they have 3 5-star edge players that they are right there at the top of the list for in 28. And they just offered a kid yesterday. That's a 4-star kid. You watch his film. He is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'll get his name in a few seconds. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. If you go over to FanDuel.com, you'll find that Notre Dame is installed as a 16.5-point favorite over Wisconsin. Lambeau Field, Week 1. CJ Carr is the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman, and as well, Notre Dame is the odds-on favorite to win the national championship in 2026. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. All right. To this point, what do we know? What do we know to this point about Notre Dame offensively? And I think we touched on it just a little bit when we were talking about what we expect. And the pressure, we know that the pressure is there for CJ Carr, but also we know that the offense, as I said, I spoke with I spoke with a wide receiver that was at the practice.
Okay.
Wide receiver, and he was just raving about CJ. He was raving about the wide receivers making plays, and
you didn't say he has to wait and see on the offense. He didn't have to say that.
No, he didn't have to wait and see anymore. I think he saw enough. I don't know. I can't speak to it, whether or not that leads to a decision of him being in Notre Dame, but I think he saw enough to be satisfied with the questions that he had, which was fair, because the offense has been built around the running backs for a very long time. Very long time. But CJ knows that, he has to be better, and it's a challenge. And this is what he said during the spring.
Yeah, he actually enhanced me or kind of told me that the thing to focus on this year is more leadership and how can we bring these young guys along, how can we get this offense well-oiled and running right, and if there's something that needs to be said, say it because this is your offense, and so that's kind of the emphasis.
What did you see from the receiver group so far? I know it's early, but is it standing out?
Yeah, really explosive group. We got a lot of talent in that room. Faison is Faison, and he's going to be a stud this year. And then Micah Gilbert and Mylan Graham have both been really good for us. Bubba Frazier's been really explosive. Missed out on JG a little bit, but up and down, like that receiver room is really good. It's going to be good for us.
How are you a better player now than you were this time last year? And just going through games, playing consistently, helping that?
Yeah, I think we went back. We get bored and when there's no ball to watch, and so we went back and got to watch all of the spring from last year and then the fall camp, and it just feels different night and day, and I feel a lot more confident and consistent out there, and the experience of a game and then just these practices have helped and are going to help going forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's just settling in. I think a lot of that just comes from his comfortability and the command of the offense and guys looking towards him to be the answer for things. And I'm telling you, that confidence changes the dynamic of how you go about your job just because you feel good and you be more assertive. It's just it's a heck of a thing when you're going in a competition where your job is to win a job, but you're on the unbalance of being assertive because you got to, another guy's trying to do the same thing. So what an ego thing and how it can change your perspective of how you go about your job and how you can elevate knowing you're the guy. So I'm not surprised by CJ taking onus of this. I would just love to see it translate. I want to see a 4,000-yard season because you watch these teams that aren't even playoff teams have crazy numbers in the pass offense, meaning the passing offense in college football is not something that's just like a one-off. You can have a lot of success throwing the football, and that's what we need to take our offense to the next step. Because, I mean, what are we proving by continually having great running games every year? It just gets us close to the fire, honestly. And it's hard to do to have a consistent run game, but we've figured out a formula where we can have such a consistent run game, we can win 9-10 games a year off of that alone. but we're in championship time. And we may not even have to stick with it for that long. Maybe it's just a couple years of passing dominance. But we need to change the perspective of Notre Dame offense of it just being run and offensive line play.
Yeah, when I think about it, I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited to watch this, because I used to watch these dudes. You use a word called mastery, right? That's what you want to see from CJ Carr. Not a participant in the offense, not a manager of the offense. Now he has to be a master of the Notre Dame offense. And I don't care what offense you run, it is really hard to stop it when you have mastered it.
Right.
Right? Look at Navy now. Navy and Army run the same offense that Lou Holtz ran, left.
Yeah.
The same offense. And because they do a great job of mastering it, they can compete. Yeah. They can still compete in today's game. I can say
we mastered the run game. Our things just depending on how we choose style of play. Like the run game was existent in the Miami game. We just didn't. Our style of game wasn't with that. We wanted to go through the quarterback. Our national championship game, the running game was there if we ran it like all the other times. But in that game in particular, we made it about the quarterback. But I wouldn't say we haven't mastered the run game. We've definitely done that. It would be nice to at least get close to mastering the passing game. We have the quarterback available. And we have the coaching there. That's the other thing. We have both sides. Usually it's like you got a quarterback and coaching whatever. Or the coach is really good, the quarterback's just not talented enough. We have both. Heisman coach, Heisman caliber talent. We have to find that. Because if we can't do it with this, there is no hope.
Yeah. Yeah. They've invested. They have definitely invested in CJ Carr in his offense. And there's nothing. It's
no different than Patrick Mahomes like telling the Chiefs front office, yeah, we need Xavier Worthy. Yeah, we need him. Yeah, I'm going to tweet this out. Fastest man, ooh, that looks good on the offense, and we get him. It's no different. We made the same moves. All right, CJ, what you need? 2 receivers? Got you. That dominant pass attack? Got you. We need an O-line guy? Got you. So, CJ's making moves without having to say anything. But we know where the importance needs to be. It goes to my receiver analogy for a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. So we know that offensively, the passing game is going to take a step forward. Something else that we know, and I'm going to play this clip left because we both kind of tilted our head to the side when we heard something from Gino Guidugli, and it made us really think because we were like, wait a minute, what are you really saying about CJ Carr? Because he's the odds-on favorite over at FanDuel to win the Heisman. He's the odds-on favorite. And we were really stuck. And a matter of fact, I tried to give grace when I heard it from Gino Guidugli. I tried to give grace. But Gino said that CJ Carr does not have to be exponentially better for Notre Dame to do what they want to do. First, listen.
Interesting thing to say.
I thought it was very interesting as well. And I thought it was
because then if that's the case, what's the point of you coaching? If he could just do the same thing you did last year, there's no point of having a coach. So maybe it's just a bad choice of words.
Yeah, you can say it was a bad choice of words. I just felt like, and I still feel like it. I felt like he was running a little bit of interference for his quarterback. That's how I felt. Like, okay, he's running some interference for his quarterback. He's running some interference for his quarterback, trying to alleviate a little bit of pressure. And
there's no pressure when you have the house money. Think about that, SD. You go into the season.
Say it again for those in the back.
There's no pressure with house money. It's like Chauncey Billups. He knew they was going to win. It was like, I mean, you know, he bringing the players in because he's like, I know they're going to win. Like, I got the glasses, I got the table. What pressure is there for CJ? Honestly, other than you know, him not being as good as we thought. That's the only thing you would get out of this. Is he as good as we thought? Because everything else is there. You know, these is one of his teams you can plug and play. Well, what if we had XYZ at quarterback? We would have went to the championship. That's one of these teams we got. Plug and play a QB, and what if it to death because it's just the perfect team for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think he does have a little bit of pressure, though.
What pressure?
I think he has. Look,
playing spades, you got a full hand.
Hey, you're trying to change. They're putting the offense on his shoulders. What do you mean? Like, he didn't have the offense on. He felt no pressure last year. I don't care if it's a little bit of pressure.
Shoulders, but you got nukes, you got grenades, you got AKs. You ain't underarmed at all.
That doesn't change a thing. When you had minimal pressure last year, any increased pressure is pressure.
He has expectations.
And pressure. Who did they get a ball to in pressure situations last year?
A guy that's not there.
Okay, then. Who are they giving the ball to in pressure situations this year?
I don't know.
I think we know. It's going to be 13.
But CJ don't have the talent to do that. He don't. I mean, in terms of like, he can't. I mean, I don't know. I can't say the man can't do anything, but that's not the same talent as a Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love jumping over people, making it happen, doing things that a first-round guy's doing. CJ's as good as the guys around him, which are good, but which good guy is going to be the guy to unlock CJ? Goes back to my sandwich analogy.
What was that? You said CJ was the turkey? Or Mylan Graham was the turkey?
CJ is like at Jersey Mike's, making the sandwich.
I love Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's great.
Love Jersey Mike's.
So CJ putting his sandwich that said, I need to bring an order for the Notre Dame passing game. I need to make a sandwich that is perfectly built. I need the turkey, the receiver one. Receiver one. This is what they come for. You don't go to Jersey Mike's and say, let me get a sub with the cheese. No, you say, let me get the turkey, blah, 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 blah. So you need a one receiver. And that's Myles Graham for me. Because there's no way in the world you go out and get two guys from a school that is producing receivers and you say, hey, I need you, both of you guys, to come and be a backup player. I don't see it happening. I don't see two guys coming from a school like that, both of them at that, coming to a Notre Dame where they are saying, hey, you can help us. No, that's saying, hey, we don't have a number one and maybe a number two. In conventional thinking, you're like, all we got is Faison coming back.
Yeah.
And he's a 3. Just a natural 3. And a natural 3 is nothing wrong with that. Tyler Lockett was a 3 in Seattle. A 3 is a needed starter. But if Jordan Faison can never be a turkey, could never be. People not buying tickets to see Faison at receiver 1. But people are buying to see Faison on the field. That's where the bread comes in. You can't have a passing game without Faison because Faison's been in it. He's CJ's guy. He's a reference for the other condiments to work well in the sandwich. So that makes him the bread, the top and the bottom. He's not going to wow you. You know, you go from white bread to Italian herbs and cheese. It's not going to wow you. It's a little bit of evolution in it, but it is what it is. It's bread.
Right.
Sprinkle a little cheese, throw a couple jalapenos, you call it another name, but it's still bread. Faison can't be more than just bread. And that's fine because his production is going to hold the sandwich together. And then you got your bacon at your number 2. That's just the Jaden Greathouse. And Jaden Greathouse is the perfect example of bacon because it's a nice number 2. In some offenses, a BLT, he can be a number 1. But when you mix it with a real number 1, like a turkey, you get turkey bacon. Batman and Robin, number 1 and number 2, a nice compliment that could be a number 1. But you always enhance a BLT with something else. So that's why Jaden Greathouse is bacon. Can complete a sandwich, could stand alone, but still make the sandwich the next level. And in a passing game where we need impact, Jaden Greathouse can prove it. Just imagine. He's not an everyday condiment, and he hasn't been. But think about it. When you're in tight situations, even in cooking, throwing bacon on something makes it better. In the Penn State game, we was rocking with just turkey. We needed that addition of bacon, that 124 to make the guy fall, to some pizzazz, some spice. And we added bacon to that sandwich. It wasn't there every game. You don't have bacon every sandwich. You may have bacon 2 or 3 times on your sandwiches out of the week, but that's Jaden Greathouse, which is interchangeable with 4, but 3 is the bread. That's your main. So you can't start a sandwich without the bread. You can't even call it a sandwich without the bread. A sandwich without the bread is a salad, but we're not vegetarians. So that's why we need Faison to be the bread. So then you got number 4, which is Micah Gilbert, the cheese, which is interchangeable with number 2, the bacon. Because you can have a sandwich without the bacon and have a great sandwich with the cheese. So Micah Gilbert could easily be the number 2 receiver. The perfect day is a turkey bacon with cheese. That's when you got an activation from Jaden Greathouse at 2, Miles at 1, and Micah Gilbert rotating in that spot at the 4. But you can win a lot of games with a turkey and cheese. It happens all the time. I've been to many summer camps where turkey and cheeses have fed classes of hundreds. So a Micah Gilbert at 2 being the cheese is also interchangeable with 4, because at 4, the cheese always makes the sandwich go great. There's never not a time where cheese doesn't make a sandwich great. So that's why it can be 4 or it can be 2. Interchangeable. But that's your core sandwich that you need for CJ to be successful. That's ideal. You don't need the bacon. You can easily go turkey, cheese, and then and our bread. But we forgot about the Chipotle ranch. which is in conjunction with the bread, because you know you got to put the spread on the bread. So Faison and Bubba are linked. Not the same. So we give respect to Faison as the bread. He's got to be there. But the Chipotle Ranch has also got to be the topping. Not the main attraction, but you taste it. And that's the electric ability of Bubba. That's why Bubba's got to be in there. You can't have a dry sandwich. You need the bread. You got the turkey. But Chipotle Ranch brings it all together. And that's where a nice addition of Bubba mixed in with Faison, in that rotation, you got something good. And then you just talk about the plethora of condiments that you can also make the sandwich good with. A Devin Fitzgerald, the green pepper. A Plexico Burrs. You throw some oregano or some, sweet onion on that thing. You got pickles. That's your Cam Williams. Can you have a sandwich without pickles? Absolutely. I do it all the time. But some people can't go without it. So any given Sunday, you can say, I'll throw a little Cam Williams on there. A turkey bacon with pickle, not bad. Do you want it all the time? Sometimes you got to put it on the side. So Cam's got to find his condiment role. Is he a pickle? A sometimes guy? Or is he an onion? Where you got to be on there, but, it's hit or miss. What is Cam role going to be?
Yeah. Lucky Podcast. We're talking offensively. What we know. What we feel like we know about Notre Dame to this point, halfway through spring practice. And I'm going to be honest with you, Left. We talked about the offense moving forward and shifting to the offensive passing game, evolving and taking more of the pressure, and the pressure being put on the shoulders of CJ Carr, being that guy in pressure situations with the expectations, even though his quarterback coach says he doesn't have to be exponentially better for them to do what they need to do. I don't necessarily agree with that. However, I think one more thing I think we know is that they have, based upon offensive line movement, I think they have made the offensive line better. And I think this will be one of the better offensive lines that we've seen. And this is what Mike Denbrock had to say about the offensive line movement.
I think it's the same pursuit every year, right? You're trying to find a way to get your best 5 football players on the field. And, we're fortunate enough with the athleticism of a lot of the guys that we've recruited on the offensive line that there's some versatility there, that those guys can play some tackle, they can play some guard. So moving the pieces around, especially in the spring, I think gives you an opportunity to really evaluate kind of where certain guys are at, where they're most comfortable, and then in an effort to get the best 5 guys on the field, kind of evaluate it from there and see where it goes.
I love hearing the best 5 on the field. I don't think they did their best to do that. To be fair, 2 years ago, injuries forced 2 freshmen on the field, to be fair, at the beginning of that season. And then last year, I just thought the tackles at big moments, or the offensive line and collectively in big moments, just didn't perform well. And I don't expect that to be the case. I don't expect that to be the case this year. So I think the offensive line, I think we know that the offensive line is better. And I think because they finally have done what was necessary to make sure they had the best 5 on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little different when you're paying people, putting the best 5 out there. You you're more, hopeful of the best five through the contracts. But at the end of the day, I think that Notre Dame can't really miss on alignment. And like you said, what we've learned through the past couple of years is that all these guys have been versatile enough to play different positions, and be able to think they're one thing and become another thing is the special ability of Notre Dame linemen. Think of Joe Alt. He was a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So to see guys in that process of the O-line be so adaptable and guys be able to get on the same page with that, it's just pretty incredible.
Yeah, I agree with that. Last but not least, I think we know from what we've heard, one of these Ohio State wide receivers is going to be pretty important. One of these transfers, whether it's MALIK Graham or Quincy Porter, there's a reason why you go out. You have the class that you have coming in. You have the guys coming back that you had coming back. There's a reason why you went out and got these two. There's a reason why you identified these two guys to go get in the portal. And that, for me, I think we know one of these two guys that transfer from Ohio State are going to be major contributors for the Fighting Irish. Major contributors for the Fighting Irish.
Major. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think that's something we know. Lucky Lefty Podcast. So tap in. Sorry about that, guys. Tap in. We're talking what we know. We already did the team. What we know, we already did the offense. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. As always, we're presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. Defensively left, what do we know? Jump us off. What do we know defensively?
We know that we are top to bottom or back to front, right, in terms of strength. But we are hopeful that it'll be front to back this year. So what we also know through that is that the upgrade through Charlie Partridge has already shown its benefits through recruiting, through the transfers, and also just the response of the overall defensive line production that everybody's noticed. So I think that's what we know. And for it to be in particular that way, where we know we're strong back to front, but also know that the changes front to back have been improved. It's I think overall the defense would be maybe not at the very start, but by the end, a better ending than what we had last
year. Yeah, I can see that. I think, as I said before, I think we will see the inverse of that. I really think this defensive line, and we have to give credit to Al Washington, right? Because the defensive line has improved year after year, especially in stopping the run. And so that's something that I think we're going to see from this team. They've been top 5 in pressures. The sacks, I think we're going to see a change where you might not see a lot of sacks. I think this linebacking core returns 9.5 sacks. It's either 8.5 or 9.5. That's a lot of sacks from your linebackers.
That's right.
And if you can transfer those sacks to your front 7 collectively, and the group is deep, especially if you start getting more from your defensive tackles, that says a lot. That says a lot about what this defense can be. And like you said, Left, maybe you can start building this defense, the strength front to back instead of back to front.
That's right.
So I think that's a good one, Left. I'm going to say that we know that the defensive backfield is still elite. I think we know that. I think we know that we have the best cornerback in the country. I think we know that. I think there's a chance we have the best safety in the country. I think it's a really good chance that Bronte Johnson. Yeah.
Because Adon's pretty good, man.
His ceiling is nowhere near Bronte's. It's just not. Just the coverage aspect for Bronte gives him a totally different ceiling and value.
Yes.
especially as you project them to the next level. And that's not to say I promise you, I think the world of a Don. I think the world of a Don. You talking about this is about to be a 3-year starter, bro. A Don, Drake, and Christian defensively are about to be 3-year starters. I'll just let that sink in. This is that 2023 class we talked about anchoring the leadership on this team. 3 guys on their defense are 3-year starters. That says a lot about them. And I think that defensive backfield has a chance to be one of the best. And I mean, not in a long time, dude, and just in recent history, it has a chance to be one of the best.
Yeah.
I think that bodes well. That bodes well. I think we know that the run defense is going to be elite. I think we know that. With everything they bring back in the front seven, I think we know. And the improvement they've made improvement against the run year after year. And I think that improvement continues to move forward. Even the strides that has been made, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Lauren Lando spoke about the strides, and he was asked by the media, I believe, who has made the most strides? Who's made the most strides? And
made the most, yeah.
Yeah. And this is what he had to say. I'm just gonna pull it up, love. He was asked about who has made the most strides, and I thought I had it pulled up. Let me make sure. There it is. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, I look at that question. I do hate to single out guys because we're so early in the process, right? A lot can change. We're 8 weeks in. I look at that from a unit level, and I look at what our bigs are doing, our O-line and our D-line. It's really impressive how strong they're getting, how well they're moving as big players. But then I look at my skills and my mids, and I sit there and I look at the field and I watch them in our football schools, and I watch how they're moving. They're moving more efficiently. There's a better burst. There's a better speed to them. But we're 8 weeks in, but collectively as a whole, like, it's really hard to single out one person, and we're so early in the process.
Third row on the right, Tim Priester.
Coach, this might be out right here.
Oh, sorry.
This might be outside the parameter of the questions that you were asking for, but there's a narrative within your profession as it relates to your profession at Notre Dame and your role. That the players that aren't injured, you're doing a good job. The players that are injured, you're not doing a good job. What is reality? What can you control, and what can't you control?
Well, like anything on that topic, I'm going to leave to Rob Hunt. But this is a chaotic, physical, violent sport. It is.
Yeah, I think that's something we can add to the we know list. Yes. This is a violent, chaotic sport, and that's not changing. As a matter of fact, it's becoming even more violent, even more faster, and even more chaotic each and every year. I mean, with that's why you see injuries going up in the NBA, because they're playing at a much faster pace than they used to, which is going to lead to more injuries. So,
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's just the technology's getting better too, so that bridges a gap from you see these injuries, the ACL and Achilles injuries. The guys coming back stronger than ever. The Jason Tatum case study is crazy.
That Jason Tatum, what he's doing right now is absolutely amazing, bro. We're gonna sit here and act like this man just didn't tear his Achilles on national TV in Madison Square Garden last May. We're not gonna sit here and act like that. Just 9.5 months ago, 10 months ago.
Man, I mean, that's incredible, man. I mean, and also he's a freak athlete in his own right, so his recovery and all of that probably aids faster. But I mean, before you know it, ACLs might be a 4 or 5 week injury.
Oh man, modern medicine is really becoming amazing right now. And it's kind of
'Cause remember, those same injuries were career killers just 10, 15 years ago, ACL or an Achilles.
do you think it's really an improvement in the actual repair, or the improvement is really in the rehab?
Well, the techniques are better. You know, they used to do crazier stuff to replace your ACL back then, and now it's like snip, snip, snip. Like, for instance, the microscopic knee surgeries.
Was a career ender.
What? No, I'm saying wasn't around.
No, I'm just saying, if you had a microscopic, I think Amari Stoudemire had it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Back in the day,
like 12
your
years
career
ago.
was done. Yeah, your career was
That
done.
wasn't that long
Yeah.
ago.
Penny
Now
Hardaway
you
had
go in
it.
for a scope. Aaron Rodgers going for a scope good in 2-3 weeks. You know, and guys deal with some crazy injuries, but it's just but also the rehab, like you said, rehabs all these new things that are out. And then again, you know, the stuff that you're not supposed to take is out there too. And the stuff that you're not supposed to take are the real bridging gaps of the medicine that helps guys really be good. You know, even the Lance Armstrong stuff, just the science behind the blood doping thing, and how it can just make you go forever and all time. Like that was about 10 years ago. So just imagine the stuff that they can do now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we know that was the back end of that comment, but I think we know, based upon what he said, I was really encouraged by Lauren Lando talking about just highlighting, like, my bigs. Not only are they stronger, but they just move so well. When I watch them on the field, they just move quicker and faster. And I love hearing that. Big guys that can move.
I mean, he got I mean, now also you inherited Francis, who's probably one of your best weightlifters right now. I mean, he's not losing. I think Lauren Lando is in a position of management, man. Can't prevent nothing, but you can manage and try to benefit guys in other areas. You know?
And Tim Priester asked a fair question in terms of, like, what can you control? It's like, man, I've just never been one to, unless you can start getting a bunch of soft tissue injury, like Notre Dame, ACL and Achilles injuries are up across the board, across all sports, just because of the speed of the game and the pace of the game. They're just up. Those injuries are up, right? We just watched your boy go out with a hamstring that we know every year, twice a year, Luka's going out with a soft tissue injury. It just is what it is. You should expect it, because look at his usage.
No, yeah. I mean, he played 82 games and the game's fast paced and all that stuff.
Look at all that. And he's a guy that's going to shoot the ball a lot. And he doesn't defend much, so it's not like he's using his muscles on defense. But yeah, it just is what it is. And like you said, when you have an extremely violent game, what else can you expect? Dude, KDA, how can I blame Lauren Lando for KVA trying to spin move on a pass rush and tearing his ACL? If he doesn't try to spin move, is he healthy? I mean, you know, did he get out of control on the spin move and put his leg in an awkward position?
Yeah,
it happens. You know, I can't blame the staff back in 2015 for a guy falling on your ankle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the most can't help and can't prevent type of things. You know, you tackle from behind. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? Guy falls, you know, that's a penalty in the NFL now, the way he tackles you. But yeah, those are things that you just can't prevent. But I do think we know that I think we know the Notre Dame defense will not start off the way they started off last year. I think we know that. The opponents are definitely not as good, but even with that, I think we know.
But I guess, like you said, every schedule has one or two games, or 2 or 3 games that are actually worth their time, right? Like that's kind of how they generally.
They jump up, they jump up and bite you.
Year is Miami and what, SMU or BYU? What is it? Maybe SMU.
SMU. I mean, like I said, I expect BYU to hang around for a little bit. I think Miami's just going to be a tough game. BYU is a game that Notre Dame should pretty much control. But BYU,
even the Miami game, I feel better about because CJ's year 2, and they have one guy. So how does that work out? And not a year 1 guy. I mean, I guess Carson Beck and the Darian Minson kid are about the same talented wise, but how long can Miami survive off a 1-year guy? Our whole thing was to get off of that. You know, we didn't want to live on that type of thing anyway.
Well, I mean,
that's their business model, though.
But they have to make that decision. They have to make that decision. They have to go out. If you're going to do that, you have to have at least two good clubs in the bag. You know what I mean? 2 go-to clubs in the bag. Like my go-to clubs for me, my 7-iron, my pitching wedge. Those are my go-to clubs.
Really?
Yeah, I love my 7-iron. Love my 7-iron. I love my pitching wedge. I can't stand my. I can't, I would much rather choke up on my pitching wedge than to hit a full sand wedge. I don't know why. My sand wedge is never like a comfortable shot for me. But my pitching wedge, I'm very comfortable hitting my pitching wedge. So
interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to that, along those lines. Like, what are you most comfortable and confident in? You know, when you need a shot, when you need something. How do you look at the edge rushers, Left? Like, is this like a must? Boubacar has to show something this year. Be more dominant.
I mean, I would like for one of our D linemen to be a star.
Yeah,
Let's get Chase Young type of hype in the building or something. You know.
Yeah.
So can Traore get to that? I don't know. I mean, 2 years ago he started fast. He didn't got hurt. Last year he was just good. I mean, and that's quite all right. I'll take a good edge rusher. But Notre Dame, at this point, they just need a bunch of stars, man. Alabama lives off of that, star names. And, I think for us to have a star pass rusher would solidify. You talk about face of the program. We got a face. CJ. It'd be nice to have a face on defense. Who's the face of the defense right now? Drake Bowen? I mean, that's good, but Drake Bowen's not a freak athlete. Drake Bowen is just the football captain you need, but who's the freak?
Well, I think that goes back to your point about building the strength to front to back, right? Because now the guy you look for is 15. And
15, yeah.
He's in the secondary.
Yeah, he's the secondary. Now, I like what we got. Rodney Dunham, 5-star edge rusher. I like that. Francis, I like that. Boubacar trying to make an impact. I like that. I mean, that's Jason Onye, 5th. I mean, Jason Onye can't do it this year. My goodness. What else do you need? So many guys that have potential to be stars, but who's going to do it? We got the coach that can unlock this DeForest Buckner energy. The great kid said it. So you got that on the inside with Francis. Got the outside, young and old pass rushers. I mean, we got a chance, man. We got a chance. If nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right, Left. Is there anything else we know? I'll throw in a little bit of recruiting. I think we know Notre Dame's going to land another top 3 class in 2027. I think we know that. I think we know that. As I said before, I think it's going to be tough to get the number one. Someone asked me the other day, will they be the number one class? With Teddy Gerard reclassifying as the number one quarterback in the class, it's probably going to be hard to do that.
I mean, the way he was talking, he coming in there to take CJ's spot or something.
No, I think he knows better than that. I think he knows better than that.
Whatever it is, we need a.
And you know what? And I might have to eat crow because I literally said Noah Grubbs needs another year.
I told you that. I told you Noah's player of the year now.
That cat Noah is he's making some plays. He's making some plays in the spring. So that's great to hear. That's great to hear. I love to hear it. So great show, Left.
Yeah.
Everybody, man, enjoy your holiday weekend. Be blessed. Love on each other, man. I hope your mother, your wives, the husbands, if you're grilling, I hope everybody has a delicious feast. Don't eat too much.
What you throwing down, man? What you got cooking?
Well, my mom said that, first of all, we have family members that are going to Cancun.
Cancun?
Yeah, they left for Cancun yesterday, so they won't be there.
To Mexico?
Yeah.
During this time?
Yeah.
That's some bold people.
Because we're going out to Cali for our anniversary. My wife is working this weekend, so she won't be at dinner. So my mom said she's only doing a pot roast, honey baked ham. She's doing some greens, some candied yams. She got a rum pound cake. I want to taste that one.
Okay.
Rum pound cake.
The pot roast gonna set it off though.
What else did she say? She told me some other stuff, but she said she's doing it light because they're going to celebrate my birthday because I'll be out of town on my birthday. So they're going to celebrate my birthday on the weekend of the 19th. So she says she's going to do it big that weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm good, man. I've been on a mac and cheese kick. Like I've been watching like mac and cheese like recipes.
Are you a roux guy or are you a traditional old?
Yes. We're a roux guy. We're okay. My brother. I was a traditional guy. We talked about this before. I was a traditional guy until I got introduced to the roux recently.
Right, recently it's been a thing recently.
But I mean, I know people that
them roux be putting over the top now.
Yeah, but I know some ladies that do it the old school way that can still.
That's right,
man.
I'm a big stovetop mac guy though. I'll go with a stovetop.
Nah, I need it out the oven.
Really? You gotta get it out the oven?
Now this is a kicker, dude. My daughter. Oh, I used to be so angry. So anytime my wife made macaroni and cheese at the house, she did it on the stove because my daughter didn't like baked mac and cheese. My daughter didn't start eating baked mac and cheese until she became like a teenager.
Wow. Yeah, my kids love the stovetop.
Yeah, she didn't like the baked mac and cheese. So I used to be angry, like, dude, can I get some baked mac and cheese?
Dude, make the whole plate different.
Yeah, these little creamy noodles. This is not.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's not
creamy noodles.
Nah, that's not it. That's not it, bro.
Creamy noodles, SD.
But now the Mrs. Boy, she gets it done. She gets it done. So have a great weekend. We thank you. Tap in on the audio side this weekend as we drop the episodes. And great visit for Quinn Burrell was here Wednesday in South Bend, not here, but in South Bend. He had a great visit. He has one more visit, I believe, to Miami, and then he's going to fully expect Notre Dame to get an official visit. He hasn't put out his official visit schedule yet. It'll probably come sometime next week after his last visit. He did Notre Dame, then he did Michigan the next day, and then he's doing Miami, I believe, this weekend to knock it out. But Notre Dame did an incredible job. And he was really active trying to get all the answers he needed on the visit. So Julius Jones Jr. comes in this weekend, legacy. So that's going to be big as well. So for Left SD2 Mics, enjoy both Final Fours. We'll see you Monday leading into the national championship game. And make sure, as always, that you continue to spin it
different.
Yes, sir.